I have always been a big fan of DreamWorks Animation and most of their animated features. I think they get a bum rap compared to Pixar films because while the earlier movies might not have been as good as some of the Pixar films, they were far from terrible. Ironically, in the last several years, the situation has kind of been switched where for a while there, DreamWorks was actually making much better movies than Pixar was, where they were making movies like How to Train Your Dragon, Kung Fu Panda 2, and even Madagascar 3, which is a series that I had not liked until the third movie, while Pixar was making things like Monsters University and Brave. Although I want to stress that, like with DreamWorks films back then, I don't think these Pixar films were bad, they just were not great. Sadly, the last few films DreamWorks has been releasing have shown that they've been kind of going back to their old routines. While How to Train Your Dragon 2 is definitely a vastly superior film than the first movie, and was certainly easy enough to recommend regardless, I could only find mild praise for Mr. Peabody and Sherman, a movie I liked but didn't think was great. Likewise, their previous film, The Penguins of Madagascar, was cute, but I only mildly recommended it, and in retrospect, I probably shouldn't have done that because with the TV series, it's not like you couldn't see it on TV for free anyway. While I have not outright not recommended a DreamWorks movie for a couple of years, I think I'm finally going to do so with Home, which is an okay film at the absolute very best, but for the most part is just pretty boring. I will give DreamWorks credit on a few issues though. First of all, it is very colorful, and as usual, the 3D is very good, showing that they are one of the very few studios using 3D correctly in their films. Also, I really liked Jim Parsons as Ooh. His performance is very good, very funny, very lively, and it shows just once more that the Academy Awards really needs to start honoring voice actors. Of course, Parsons in real life sounds like a cartoon character, so like with Robin Williams and the Genie, this was probably just the perfect blend of animation and art. I also want to give DreamWorks credit for creating an African American heroine. Tip is very likable, and I love her emotional range on her face. The animators did a very good job with her, although I do wish they had hired someone other than Rihanna to voice the character. No offense to Rihanna, who provides most of the movie's songs, I want to add. I'm sure she's a nice person, but she sounds way too old to be playing this character. Quizava Wallace, if I'm saying that correctly, and I'm probably not, would have been a much better choice for this role, as she is actually a kid, and on top of that is an actress. Not only is Rihanna sounding way too old to be playing a kid, but she does not have the vocal chops to match what the animators are doing with the character. It's just not a good fit. And while I wish I could say there was a lot to say about Steve Martin's performance as the leader of the Ooze, or whatever the heck the aliens are called, there is sadly not. It doesn't even sound much like Steve Martin, and it doesn't sound like he contributed much to the movie at all. The storyline involves this alien race taking over Earth because they are running away from evil aliens of some sort. They conquer Earth, start setting up parties, but Ooh accidentally sends a massive Evite for a party that is going to go straight through the galaxies and will reach the homes of their enemies. In other words, Ooh has basically doomed everyone. While on the run, he meets Tip, who used to live in one of the apartments that he occupied, but no longer does, and is searching for her mom, who was taken because there was a glitch in the systems that ensured that she was the one human in the entire city, possibly the world, who was missed. And the two joined forces to escape the alien race and to find her mom. And that's pretty much what the movie's about, folks. With the exception of the tension of the Evite actually getting to the bad guys in the film, there is very little tension in the whole thing, and most of it sort of just strolls along at a leisurely pace. As mentioned before, Parsons is very good as Ooh. He is a real funny character and really likable. And again, Tip is also a likable character, however it's a little bit harder to relate to her because of the miscast in the voice acting. The problem is these characters aren't interesting enough to carry the film without a center conflict that really overbears on the story. And the conflict is rarely there. They sort of just do things. She teaches him what knock-knock jokes are. He fixes the car. He wants to go to Antarctica and she wants to go to Paris. The cat, who is named Pig for some reason, just sort of is cute, I suppose. And by the time we get to the end of the movie, we have a standard family is everything and important, friends are good, and it's better to face your fears than to run away from them. It's nice, but we got the exact same message in The Penguins of Madagascar, and at the very least, the penguins were consistently entertaining, whereas Ooh and Tip are only entertaining at certain points in the movie. Out of 5 stars, Home gets 2 stars. I liked a lot of aspects of the movie. I liked some of the voice acting. I liked the characters. I find it especially good that we have an African American hero in this because we don't have that much cultural diversity in animated films in the first place, and so this is a nice good start. Ultimately, though, good intentions aside, Home is just boring. It really is, guys. I think it will appeal to young kids, but the kind of young kids I'm thinking it'll appeal to won't be bothered by the fact if they have to watch this on DVD as opposed to the theater. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and flame responsibly.